They passed away, but left one last message for you. Archangel Michael says, if you open this now, you'll finally understand why it happened. My beloved child, take a deep breath, for what you are about to feel is not an ordinary whisper, not a passing thought, but a sacred wind carrying a voice from beyond the veil of this life. Heaven has been trembling with the weight of a final message. One soul, yes, the one you think about when the night is too quiet and your chest aches with that unexplainable longing, has been circling your name in the realm of spirit, begging for a single opening in your heart so this message can finally arrive. Archangel Michael has been holding the gate open. And now, this is the moment they've been waiting for. They passed on, yes, but not away. They didn't vanish. They simply changed their room. They are now where time bows its head and tears are wiped before they fall. But even there, in the light of eternity, they still think of you. They still call your name. They still feel your breath in the atmosphere of memory. And more than anything, they've been asking God for a window, just one moment, where you would pause long enough to hear them. And this is that moment, child. This is it. This message is soaked in their love. It is not just a goodbye. It is a bridge, a healing, a sacred explanation for the ache that never left your bones. You keep wondering why it had to happen this way. Why the pain came unannounced. Why life didn't allow one more hug, one more conversation, one more hour to simply sit and say the things that mattered. But what if I told you, their passing wasn't the end of their love story with you, but the beginning of a deeper connection that you can only now begin to understand? What if every silent cry you whispered into your pillow was collected in heaven's jar? What if the signs you've been ignoring, those flickering lights, those songs that play out of nowhere, that sudden warmth in a cold room, were not coincidences, but their soul gently brushing against yours, trying to say, I'm still here, and I never left you. You see, heaven doesn't forget promises made in love. And when they left, they didn't take your love with them. They left it behind. On purpose. As proof that the connection was never meant to end. Archangel Michael says their message has waited long enough. You were always the chosen recipient. But the weight of grief, the distraction of routine, the pressure to be okay, it all created noise that drowned out the message. Until now. Until this sacred second. Until your eyes landed here. And now the message opens like a letter written in spirit, sealed by tears, and delivered by angels. I didn't leave you. I was taken into a realm you could not follow yet. But I see you. I see your mornings. I see your hands holding on to things, people, emotions that I wish you would release. You've been too hard on yourself. Too quiet with your heart. But if you truly knew how proud I am of you, you would cry from relief. You would collapse into grace. You would stop wondering if you did enough. Because, child, you were enough. Your love carried me through my final moments. Your memory of me gives me light even here. I am not disappointed. I am not upset. I am at peace. But I ache when you carry guilt, when you carry shame, when you think it should have been different. Please, stop punishing your soul for what only heaven could control. And Archangel Michael confirms, you are now standing at a holy intersection. A place where the sorrow of yesterday is being transformed into a door for tomorrow. But you must let the message in. You must let yourself cry. Not tears of sorrow, but of connection, of recognition. That you are still deeply loved by the one who left. That heaven has not forgotten your pain. That God has not been silent, only waiting. Waiting for this very moment where your spirit said, yes, to remembering what love truly feels like. They passed away, but love didn't. And this message is proof. Stay with it. Let it breathe in your chest. Because this is only the beginning. There is more they want to say. And more your soul is ready to receive. They said your name again last night in heaven. Not in sorrow. Not in urgency. But in a softness that only eternity understands. A name once spoken over your crib now echoing in the skies, full of memory, full of meaning, full of the moments you thought no one saw. Your loved one didn't just remember you. They followed your life like sunlight through a curtain. They watched you carry the weight of their absence, and it broke them in a way that even heaven noticed. Archangel Michael stood beside them, hand upon their shoulder, whispering, the time will come when they'll be ready. And that time is now. You finally stopped long enough, and your soul opened like a gate. This is the message they couldn't take with them, the one that weighed on their chest before they left this world. It wasn't a secret. It was a truth. And the truth is, they never meant to leave things undone. They never wanted you to grow up wondering what their last words might have been. They never wanted you to feel abandoned, or confused, or less than. They didn't want you carrying questions that kept your spirit up at night. But there were things they couldn't explain in their final days. Emotions too deep. Regrets too complex. Memories too holy. So they brought them here, to the realm of spirit, and handed them to Archangel Michael for safekeeping. And now, through this moment, they are handing them to you. They want you to know the day they passed was not a punishment. It was a doorway. And that doorway was open not to end the story, but to awaken something in you. They saw the seeds inside your soul, the gifts you were meant to water, the path you were born to walk. And they knew, if they stayed, you might not take the next step. Sometimes heaven calls people home not to break us, but to push us. To awaken us. To shake us out of the fog we were trapped in. You kept waiting for them to come back, but child, they never really left. They transformed. They multiplied into memories, into strength, into little moments that now live inside your everyday breath. Archangel Michael says you've been missing their voice, not knowing that their voice has been behind every sudden inspiration, every comforting dream, every moment you should have failed but didn't. They helped carry you, even from the other side. And now they want you to carry something in return. Their love. Their legacy. Their untold truths. You are not just their memory, you are their continuation. They left the stage so that you could step into the light. They passed on so that you could pass through. And now comes the part you've avoided, the release. The moment where you stop blaming yourself. The moment where you stop pretending you're okay when you're not. The moment where you stop thinking you were too late, or not enough, or distant, or cold. You were never meant to carry guilt. You were meant to carry grace. And they want you to put down the pain, gently, like a photograph you've looked at too long. Because something new is coming. And for you to receive it, you must clear the room where grief has lived rent-free. Let the curtains open. Let the light in. Because they're still with you, just in a different form. And this message? It's their proof. Their final act of love. Their invisible hug around your shaking soul. You'll never walk alone again. You'll never have to guess what they felt. This was it. This is what they couldn't say. And now that it's in your hands, what will you do with it? Let it heal you. Let it change you. Let it be the bridge between what was and what can still become. There are no accidents in eternity. No moments missed. No goodbyes forgotten. No souls lost in the shuffle. Everything that has ever happened to you, the loss, the ache, the questions you kept buried in your chest, it was all seen. All counted. All carried. Archangel Michael says your name was carved into heaven long before your voice ever cried out for help. And when the one you loved took their final breath, something inside you collapsed that day, but something in heaven opened. A room was made for their spirit, and a promise was made for yours. A promise that one day, at the right time, you would understand. That day is now. This isn't just about closure. This is about unlocking something deeper, the purpose behind the pain. You thought the loss made you weaker, but child, look again. You survived nights you never talked about. You held it all in while others had no idea what you were carrying. You spoke softly even when your soul was screaming. You prayed through confusion. You kept going. And that kind of strength is not ordinary, it is divine. Your loved one saw it. They see it now. That's why they chose this moment. This very second. Because your heart is ready. Your ears are tuned. Your soul has been silently reaching out, and now, heaven is reaching back. They want you to know what happened wasn't punishment. It wasn't abandonment. It was part of a higher orchestration, one that even they didn't fully understand when they were here. But now, standing in the clarity of heaven, they see it all. They see how their absence shook something loose in you, a gift, a vision, a fire. You began to awaken to yourself. You began to see who you are without the noise of approval. And slowly, quietly, painfully, you began to become. But even now, there's still a room in your soul they want to help you unlock. The room where you keep the what-ifs. The questions you're afraid to say out loud. The moments you wish you could go back and change. But Archangel Michael is standing at that door now, holding the key, saying gently, "Let's go inside. Let's look at it together. Not to judge. Not to shame. But to heal. Because healing doesn't come from forgetting. It comes from remembering differently. It comes from seeing what was once painful through the lens of love. And love has never stopped reaching for you, not even for one moment. Their message isn't just words. It's a transfer of peace. It's a surrender of the things you were never meant to carry. They want you to release the heavy love, the kind that hurts because it never had a place to land. Now it does. Right here. In this message. In this sacred moment between your soul and theirs. No one else may understand it. That's okay. This was always meant for you. That's why the words found you now. That's why the video came across your screen. That's why your chest feels the way it does as you listen. It's not emotion. It's remembrance. It's recognition. It's heaven saying, "This is it. The moment your soul has been praying for." So breathe. Let the tears come if they must. Let the silence hold you. Because your loved one is here, not in body, but in presence. And their voice, through the winds of spirit, is whispering. "I never left you. I only changed forms. And now, I'm closer than I ever was." There are some things the heart carries that language cannot hold, and this is one of them. This isn't just a moment. It's a sacred unveiling. Heaven doesn't speak in noise, it speaks in patterns, whispers, timings. And today, the air is thin between worlds. Today, your name was whispered not by one, but by two. First by the one you loved and lost. Second, by Archangel Michael himself. And when two such voices meet in the eternal realm, something begins to shift in the earthly realm. Something in your life is about to feel that shift. Not because you're broken. But because you're chosen. Your loved one is not here to haunt you. They are here to hold you. Not with hands, but with memory, with divine appointment. They have seen how you pretend you're okay. How you smile when inside you're silently asking questions no one hears. They've watched you kneel, not just to pray, but to gather the pieces of yourself that life keeps shattering. And today they want you to stop gathering. They want you to receive. They want you to know, your pain has not been in vain. And your story is not a tragedy. It's a blueprint of redemption, written in chapters only heaven fully understands. When they left, they didn't get to say everything. Some words were never spoken. Some truths never confessed. And yet, you carry them, their silence, their questions, their regrets, like sacred ink tattooed on your spirit. But child, listen now, not all things needed to be said to be understood. Some love is so deep, so unconditional, that it speaks louder in its absence than it ever could in its presence. That is the kind of love they left behind for you. And it has not faded. It has only changed shape, from touch to presence, from presence to guidance. Archangel Michael says the heavens remember the moments you don't. The day of your birth. They watched your loved one's eyes overflow with awe. The night you cried alone, thinking no one could hear. They did. The moments you almost gave up, when everything felt like too much. They were standing beside you, unseen but near. And now, something powerful is being released, not a memory, but a message. A truth that was hidden until your soul was ready to receive it. And now you are. You were not left behind. You were launched forward. The passing of someone you love is not just a moment of grief, it's a divine rerouting. It awakens things. It removes illusions. It calls you to live deeper. And that's what you're being asked to do now: live with clarity, with courage, with the knowing that you are still being watched over, still being loved, still being called into your higher purpose. The tears you cry now are not weakness. They are sacred. They are bridges between worlds. They are the language of the soul that heaven understands. They left you something. Not in a will. Not in a letter. But in a spiritual inheritance that is now arriving at your doorstep. It's wrapped not in paper, but in peace. It carries no address, yet it knows exactly where you are. And it's arriving now, through this moment, this message, this voice that somehow feels like it's talking directly to your heart. That's because it is. They want you to hear this loud and clear: you didn't lose me. I became something eternal. And I've been trying to tell you, it's your time now. Not to forget me, but to finally live. And now, the heavens lean even closer. Archangel Michael is no longer speaking from the clouds, he is seated beside you, his presence not loud but unmistakably strong. The stillness around you right now is not emptiness. It is preparation. The kind of silence that holds its breath before a miracle. The kind of pause heaven makes before delivering something that will change you. And today, that change is beginning with remembrance. Not just of your loved one, but of who you were before grief touched your hands. You have walked through fire with a quiet kind of grace. You have loved through absence, hoped through heartbreak, and breathed through the ache of missing someone so deeply it felt like the air itself had turned against you. And still, you stood. Still, you loved. Still, you looked up, even when your heart looked down. And for that, heaven has decided something: you are ready now. Ready to receive the reason. Ready to receive the restoration. Ready to understand what felt so unfair, so cruel, so impossible, was not punishment, but positioning. The one who passed, they knew something would be difficult. They knew you would ask, why, more times than your voice could carry. They knew you would reach for their memory on cold nights and wish for just one more moment. But what they didn't expect was how deeply you would still carry their spirit forward. How bravely you would walk even without the map. And how closely heaven would begin to walk with you. That is why this message is being released now, because what you thought you lost is actually awakening a gift you didn't know was yours. The gift of spiritual clarity. The gift of divine knowing. The gift of being able to walk through sorrow and still carry light. You see, the day they left this world was not the end. It was the day your journey took on a greater calling. You were appointed as a keeper of memory, a carrier of legacy, and a vessel through which their love could continue blessing this world. Your eyes became their eyes. Your prayers echoed theirs. Your laughter, even when forced, was felt on the other side, like music ringing through the walls of eternity. And now, they want you to laugh not because you must, but because you are finally healed. They've seen the dreams you keep putting off. The places you want to go but feel too guilty to enjoy. The relationships you distance yourself from because part of your heart still feels stuck in the past. But Archangel Michael says this clearly: you were never meant to stop living. You were meant to live for both of you now. Every step you take forward is a tribute. Every healed part of your heart is a message to them that their life mattered. That their love did not vanish, it multiplied through your strength. And listen carefully, because this is what they've been dying to say, waiting in the winds of heaven for the perfect moment. Stop blaming yourself. Stop thinking you should have done more. I see now what I could not see then, and I know your love was pure. You gave me more than enough. And now, it's your turn to receive. There is no debt left between you and them. Only devotion. Only divine connection. Only a bond so deep, time cannot erase it, and death could not silence it. They are with you now, not in body but in spirit, standing where your tears fell, speaking through the moments you least expect. When you hear that favorite song out of nowhere. When a feather lands on your path. When the breeze brushes your face like a whisper. That's not coincidence. That's visitation. That's love refusing to be forgotten. They left, yes, but they left a blessing behind. And it's arriving. Now. Your breath may tremble, but heaven does not. Heaven has always been steady about you. Your journey, your destiny, your healing. Archangel Michael has seen the days you were so quiet, even your own heart could barely hear you. The moments you didn't cry loud, but the weight inside you was unbearable. The world looked normal. But inside, everything had shifted since they left. A presence gone from the room, but never from the soul. And even though time moved forward, a part of you still stayed behind at that goodbye. But God does not live in our goodbyes. He lives in our forever. And now He is bringing the closure that is not silence, but song. Not an ending, but a new beginning formed from the sacred ashes of what once was. There is something you must know, and heaven will not rest until you hold it in your spirit. Their departure was not the end of your connection. It was the start of your awakening.